8 places with haunted pasts. Number 8. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia. The construction of this famous mental asylum began in 1858 and was not finished until 1881. It was originally meant to house only 250 people, but in the 1950s it became severely overcrowded with over 2,500 patients. Strangely enough, the grounds ultimately reached 666 acres. During its 100 years of operation, the lunatic asylum often locked patients in cages and generally treated mentally ill people like wild animals. Numerous deaths have occurred inside the building, and its ties to the Civil War make it one of the more intriguing paranormal locations in the USA. Number 7. The Amityville House in Babylon, New York. The original story of this property starts in 1974 when Ronald Joseph Butch DeFeo decided to kill his father, mother, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters. All 6 of the victims were found shot in their beds, lying face down. Initially, DeFeo blamed the murders on a mafia hitman, but later on during the investigation, he confessed to the killings. In 1975, the Lutz family moved into the home and strange things started happening. The house had swarms of flies, even in wintertime. A secret room was discovered by the father. There were random cold spots and odors of perfume. Locks on doors were damaged by unseen forces, and a crucifix that was kept in the living room spun around until it was upside down. This massive and brutal killing house entered pop culture with the Amityville horror novels and movies based on both families' experiences. To this day, it is considered a house of horrors and mystery by everyone that visits 112 Ocean Avenue. Number 6. The Gettysburg Battlefield in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. From July 1st to the 3rd, 1863, Gettysburg was the site of the most gruesome Civil War battle ever. More than 22,000 people lay wounded on the battlefield, and 8,900 soldiers were dead. On November 19th, Abraham Lincoln delivered the famous Gettysburg Address in memoriam to the brave men that had lost their lives there. The site receives around 3 million visitors per year. It is a big part of America's history books. However, a big percentage of those 3 million visitors go there to find the truth about the legends surrounding it. You see, countless people have reported seeing strange shapes, ghosts, and apparitions of generals. Noises heard often include yelling and painful, agonizing screams for help. Number 5. Highgate Cemetery in Highgate, London. This place is much more than just an ordinary cemetery. With famous residents including Karl Marx, Douglas Adams, and Claudia Jones, it has its fair share of legends. Due to vandalism and theft, visitors are no longer allowed to tour the cemetery without proof of personal connection to a deceased family member. It has been known that the Highgate Vampire resided in the cemetery in the 1970s, with many eyewitnesses reporting him. Back then, the site was not as closely guarded as today, so amateur paranormal detectives had free rein. Almost all of them reported seeing a dark gray figure slowly creeping along the overgrown paths. Number 4. The Monte Cristo Homestead in Junee, New South Wales. This house is famed as Australia's most haunted place. The story behind the legend starts in 1885 when the Crawley family originally built the home. Many strange things happened, including a young child was dropped down the stairs, a family maid fell over the balcony and died, a stable boy burned to death on the property during a bushfire. A mentally ill man was chained up in the caretaker's cottage for over 40 years. He was eventually found crying next to his dead mother. After the Crawley family decided to rid its family of the bad house vibes, a caretaker was found murdered in their cottage. As it stands now, the place is nothing more than a gift shop. But one thing remains true. This place is as creepy as it gets, and something sinister has had hold of the property since its construction in 1880. Number 3. Castle of Good Hope in Cape Town, South Africa. It was built in the 17th century by the Dutch East India India Company, and it is the oldest existing colonial building in South Africa. The castle was used as a prison, and many people were tortured and murdered there. The most famous sightings happened in 1915 and 1947, when the apparition of a tall gentleman was spotted jumping off the castle walls. The Lady in Grey has also been reported there by generations of workers. Number 2. The Halifax Citadel in Halifax, Canada. This strange-looking fort served its purpose in defending the Halifax Harbor and the Royal Navy dockyard. Since the late 50s, the Citadel has become a paranormal hotspot. Many staff and visitors claim they saw ghosts roaming the empty halls, old ladies appearing in mirrors, and soldiers showing up at their posts out of thin air. Even though it might seem like the whole thing is a scam to get more visitors, no one can explain the strange sensation of a little girl holding their hand as they explore this old building. Number 1. The St. Louis Cemeteries in New Orleans, Louisiana. According to CW's The Originals, these cemeteries are the place of great magic, tragic death, and occult rituals that will make you scream. The original cemetery was opened in 1789 and is located near the French Quarter. All the tombs are above ground and make for one strange walkthrough. One of the weirder occupants and the origin of many folk stories is Marie Laveau. She was a renowned voodoo priestess. Her ghost has been reported to haunt anyone that dares disturb her tomb. The cemetery has been closed down to visitors due to vandalism. Interestingly enough, Nicolas Cage has purchased a parcel there.